For more than half a century, Ron Howard has represented one of Hollywood's rare success stories. Steady, wholesome, and seemingly untouched by scandal or chaos. Audiences watched him grow from a cherubic child actor into one of the most respected filmmakers of his generation. His calm voice, thoughtful interviews, and carefully curated public image created the impression of a man who navigated fame with ease. But beneath that polished exterior was a far more complicated emotional journey. Recently, Howard has spoken with unusual honesty about the pressures, regrets, and silent struggles that shaped his life. His story is not one of failure hidden behind success, but of emotional costs paid quietly over decades. It is the story of a man who learned early how to perform, but much later how to rest, reflect, and truly live beyond the expectations of an unforgiving industry. A childhood written for the camera. Ron Howard was born on March 1, 1954, in Duncan, Oklahoma, into a family already immersed in the entertainment world. His parents, Rance Howard and Jean Spiegel, were working actors who balanced ambition with financial uncertainty. By the time Ron was barely a toddler, he had already appeared on screen, setting the stage for a life few children could comprehend. Unlike most kids, Ron's early memories were shaped by studio lights, scripted dialogue, and adult expectations. His parents tried to ground him in normalcy, emphasizing education and discipline, but Hollywood was never a neutral environment. From a young age, Ron learned that approval came from performance and that mistakes carried consequences. While this upbringing gave him professionalism and focus, it also blurred the line between who he was and what he was expected to be, a confusion that would follow him well into adulthood. Opie Taylor and the Golden Cage of Fame. At just 6 years old, Ron Howard became America's sweetheart as Opie Taylor on The Andy Griffith Show. The role brought him instant fame and affection, but it also confined him to a carefully controlled existence. While audiences saw innocence and warmth, Ron experienced long hours on set and an isolated childhood unlike that of his peers. Schoolwork was completed backstage, friendships were limited, and privacy was almost non-existent. His father worked tirelessly to protect him from exploitation, yet even with safeguards, the pressure was immense. Ron has described this period as living in a golden cage, safe but restrictive. The expectations placed on him were not just professional but emotional, forcing him to mature faster than most children. The applause and recognition came at the cost of spontaneity, freedom, and the simple joy of being a kid. Growing up without growing free. When The Andy Griffith Show ended, Ron was only 14 but emotionally far older. His identity had been shaped almost entirely by public perception. As he transitioned into adolescence, the gap between who he was and who audiences expected him to be became more pronounced. This tension intensified during his time on Happy Days, where he played the dependable, clean-cut Richie Cunningham. While the role cemented his popularity, it also reinforced an image that felt increasingly restrictive. The cultural upheaval of the 1970s contrasted sharply with his wholesome persona, leaving Ron feeling disconnected from his generation. He wasn't rebelling, he was quietly suffocating. By the late 1970s, he knew that if he stayed within the boundaries others set for him, he would never discover who he truly was. That realization pushed him toward directing, where control replaced performance. Reinvention behind the camera. Directing offered Ron Howard something acting never could: authorship. Stepping behind the camera allowed him to escape typecasting and redefine his career on his own terms. Over time, he proved himself not just capable but exceptional, crafting films that balanced emotional depth with commercial success. By the 1990s, he was one of Hollywood's most trusted directors, known for his reliability and meticulous preparation. Yet this new chapter brought its own pressures. Ron became consumed by the responsibility of honoring real stories and real people, especially on projects like Apollo 13. His work ethic bordered on self-punishment, long days, little sleep, and relentless self-criticism. The need to be perfect wasn't driven by ego, but by fear. Fear of failure, of letting others down, and of losing the hard-earned respect he'd spent decades building. When success became a physical warning, the making of Apollo 13 marked a breaking point. Determined to get every detail right, Ron pushed himself beyond reasonable limits. 18-hour days became routine, hydration and rest became afterthoughts, and his body eventually rebelled. Severe dehydration and exhaustion forced him to confront a truth he had long avoided. His drive for perfection was unsustainable. For the first time, success felt physically dangerous. This moment wasn't just a health scare, it was an emotional reckoning. Ron realized that the same discipline that protected him as a child actor was now harming him as an adult. The industry rewarded endurance, but it didn't protect well-being. That realization planted the seeds for a slower, more reflective approach to life, though it would take years before he fully acted on it. Family, absence, and the weight of regret. One of Ron Howard's deepest regrets stems not from professional failure, but from absence. In 1991, he left his wife Cheryl and their young children for a prolonged shoot overseas. When he returned home months later, the emotional distance was undeniable. His children barely recognized him. The moment was devastating. It forced him to acknowledge that time, once lost, could not be reclaimed. While he vowed never to let work eclipse family again, the reality of Hollywood made balance difficult. Projects demanded total immersion, and saying no was never easy. The guilt of missed milestones lingered, shaping his decisions and haunting his reflections. For Ron, success became bittersweet, proof that achievement could coexist with profound loss, and that love required presence, not just good intentions. Brotherhood, addiction, and helplessness. Ron's relationship with his younger brother Clint has been one of the most emotionally complex parts of his life. Growing up together in Hollywood forged a deep bond, but Clint's struggles with addiction in the 1980s tested that connection. Ron was forced into an impossible position: protect his brother or draw boundaries that felt like betrayal. His ultimatum led Clint to seek help, and their eventual healing became a testament to honesty and resilience. They even chronicled their journey together in a memoir. Yet time introduced new challenges. As Clint's health declined in later years, Ron faced a fear he couldn't outwork or outplan. Watching someone you love suffer strips away the illusion of control. For a man used to directing outcomes, this helplessness was deeply unsettling and profoundly human. Outro: redefining what success means. As Ron Howard enters the later chapters of his life, his definition of success has quietly shifted. Awards, box office numbers, and legacy projects matter less than presence, connection, and peace. He has learned that silence between projects is not failure, but restoration. The boy who grew up performing has finally allowed himself to simply exist. His story resonates not because of fame, but because of its honesty, proof that even the most accomplished lives carry unseen costs. Ron Howard's journey is not about escaping regret, but about learning from it. In embracing vulnerability, he has discovered a deeper kind of fulfillment, one rooted not in applause, but in love, reflection, and the courage to slow down.